Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again, and today we have a trash can because we're going to talk about the top 5 most disappointing teams halfway through the first half of the NFL season. Now, just a reminder, the New York Giants and Denver Broncos and Cleveland Browns, which is an honorable mention, did not make the list. However, there are 5 teams here that are absolutely disappointing, and one team I think that may be perhaps the worst team of all time. I will present the team's logo, I will go over why they suck, which you probably know already, and I will throw them into the trash can because they are garbage. This is your NFL top 5 most disappointing teams halfway through the season. This is going to be a fun series to do, folks. I'm looking forward to this because we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and there isn't too much good coming out of any of these teams. I do not have the New York Giants on the list, and there is a team on the list that I think is going to have a better second half of the season, just based on recent events. The Denver Broncos didn't make the list either because it's such a tough list. If your team is winless, they're probably automatically on this list. But when I look at it, I look at teams that are the most disappointing from the terms of what you expect into what you get. I think I did a pretty good job making this list. It may not be perfect, but I think for the most part I hit it right on the head. And let's go here, folks. So the number 5 team on the most disappointing list is the Washington Redskins. This team is 1-7 on the year. They are ranked towards the bottom half of the league in rushing. They have only 678 rushing yards the whole season to this point. They have had a quarterback disaster. They don't know what to do. I say at this point, just start Dwayne Haskins because there's nothing to lose at this point. They are ranked 29 in quarterback completion percentage in the year, 65.8%. They have just 9 passing touchdowns all season. They also have 9 interceptions thrown so far. Their defense, though, for the Washington Redskins is slightly better. They did give up 31 points to the Bears offense. They let the Giants defense shut them down. And I think that they could show up a lot better in the second half, which is why they're not ranked lower on this list. But to me, the Washington Redskins are just complete trash. I think a lot of the problem is the quarterback position, which they can't seem to really get. Their offense as well has looked like complete dog shit. But that's just really where we stand with the Washington Redskins. And I do see them having a better second half of the season, but they are number 5. And I guess they miss Kirk Cousins just a little bit, huh? This team is complete trash. Into the trash can they go. Number 4 on the top 5 most disappointing teams of the year, and I was debating to rank this team lower because they are complete dog shit and they have more talent than any other team on this list. The Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are complete dog shit this whole year. They're 1-7 on the year. They have 1 win. I forgot who it even came against. This team is bad. This team is bad. Oh, it came against the Eagles. I forgot about that, I think. Oh, my God. I expected so much more from the Atlanta Falcons going into this year, and boy, have they disappointed their fan base and so much around them. Matt Ryan likes to throw picks, and that's evident. He has 9 picks thrown all year, and, for somebody that's a jackrabbit like Devontae Freeman, he hasn't done shit all year. They're ranked 29 in rushing yards on the season. Devontae Freeman has been severely underwhelming. 548 yards total, that's god-awful. And they have 3 rushing touchdowns all season. All season. All season. There are some running backs that get 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns in one game. This whole entire team has 3 rushing touchdowns all season. Their defense is ranked second to last. They give up 29.5 points per game. Their entire defense has 2 interceptions, while their pass rush has just a low 7 sacks. So majority of these problems in the Falcons come on defense. They do, if I'm correct, lead the league in passing yards. Well, I mean, if you have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Mohamed Sanu up to this point before he was traded, you damn well better lead the league in passing yards. This Atlanta Falcons team is complete dog shit. They are 1-7. Their defense is a high liability. Matt Ryan throws too many picks. He didn't play this weekend. Matt Schaub threw this past weekend for 460 yards, and they lost. I don't know what the Falcons team has to do. They need to really build this defense, and they need to figure out what's going on with Devontae Freeman because he looks like complete trash. And that's number 4, and into the trash can, number 4 goes. Number 3 is the New York Jets. New York Jets are garbage. The only reason that they're not lower on this list is because there are two teams that have yet to win a game. And by default, if you're winless at this point in the season, you suck. Number 3, the New York Jets, who are 1-6 on the season, not 7 because they already had their bye week. Now, let me give some credit here, just for the fact that the Jets, Sam Darnold had got mono, and they went down early. So their quarterback situation from injuries and illnesses has led them to probably this point. However, they've had a much tougher schedule than a lot of teams. So I'm going to give them that leniency before I shit all over the Jets, but now it's time to shit all over the Jets. The Jets are ranked dead last in passing yards. I'll give credit, like I said, for QB injuries. Their completion percentage is 62.2. One of the best running backs in the league during his time has massively underwhelmed this New York Jets team. Le'Veon Bell has been a massive disappointment for this team. They have no line. They're ranked 31st in rushing. How can you be ranked 31st in rushing and have Le'Veon Bell as your running back? Can you explain that to me? The Jets' defense has only 9 sacks. This one is going to make me die. They have just 5 passing touchdowns all season. For this team, and Sam Darnold, who outside of that Dallas game has looked like complete shit in his return, Adam Gase is a complete joke as a coach. This New York Jets team is in for a very rough half of the season. I know a lot of you say after that New England game with Darnold coming back, we're coming for it. You look like complete dog shit against the Jaguars, and I understand they got a good defense, but damn, son. This New York Jets team is really bad, and it makes the Giants look almost good. It's bad. It's bad. The defense on the Jets is awful. And, all the acquisitions they got on defense in the offseason, and it's just nothing there. There's nothing there. Le'Veon Bell's been disappointing, like I said. That's what really shocked me, is that Le'Veon Bell has done nothing. He has nothing to run behind. The line doesn't block. The Jets' defense doesn't really get sacks. The passing touchdowns haven't been there. Sam Darnold hasn't looked great. Adam Gase is an awful coach, and I thought he was an awful coach even when he was with the Dolphins. The Jets are going into the trash can. Number 2 is a team that I actually gave some hope to this offseason. That's the Cincinnati Bengals, and they made me look like a jackass. The Cincinnati Bengals are 0-8 on the year, and rightfully that is deserved. Andy Dalton is playing the worst football of his career. He's thrown 8 picks so far this year. They have the worst run game in the league, 3 rushing touchdowns all season. Just 476 yards, averaging only 59 yards per game rushing. They're ranked 25 in defense, giving them 25 points per game. They have just 9 sacks all year and only 2 interceptions on defense. The Cincinnati Bengals ownership and everything involved is a complete clusterfuck, and it is an absolute joke. The Cincinnati Bengals are god-awful. I mean, they have lost quite a few games by 6 or less points, a touchdown or less. I don't know what it's going to take for this team to really step it up, but Andy Dalton's awful, and for the first time, they've actually benched him. Like I said, he passes for yards, and he likes to throw picks. That's Andy Dalton. The Cincinnati Bengals are atrocious, and I think if I were them, I would try to trade for draft picks, because I understand A.J. Green has not played a game yet this season. For some reason, he is always hurt, yet one of the elite receivers in the game. Bengals are just so bad. They are so bad. 0-8. 0-8. The scariest part about teams like this is that when you have to play them, you are getting all excited because you don't want to be the team that loses to them. Even if a team beats them and you're the second team to lose to them, that's okay because the other team lost to them. But if you're the first team that loses to a winless team, that's what's in for it. Number 2, the Cincinnati Bengals go into the trash can. So who is the most disappointing team of the first half of the season? And honestly, they may be one of the worst teams in NFL history. You don't need any introduction for this. Number 1, the Miami Dolphins. You know what? I don't even know if this team deserves the trash can, because the Miami Dolphins would make the trash can actually look good. The Miami Dolphins, to me, may be the worst team in NFL history, and they are the most disappointing team of the first half of the season. Get ready for these stats, folks, because this is going to make you laugh. They have the worst defense in the league. They've given up 32 points per game. They have only 2 interceptions the whole year on defense, only 9 sacks. Their defense is bad. How about this? They're ranked 31st in passing yards with just 1,300. They're also ranked 31st in QB percentage with 56.9% completion. They have only 6 passing touchdowns all year. And they lead the league in interceptions. They've thrown 12 interceptions all year. And what else? Of course, they're ranked 30th in rushing with only 460 yards. They have 3 rushing touchdowns all season. They are ranked near last in kicking. How about this? I didn't even bring up special teams at all in any of these videos, or any of these teams. They're ranked last in kicking. They have 5 field goals made the whole year on 8 attempts. Are they the worst team of all time? I'd have to go back and look at other teams, but this Miami Dolphins team certainly is blowing away the competition for the worst team in the game. And you know what's crazy is I think that all other 4 teams on this list are actually 5 times better than the worst team on this list. I think the Dolphins are the worst team. Well, we know they're the worst team in the league. I would say based on how they're playing, I'd be shocked if they get a win this year. I don't know what their second half of the schedule looks like, but that doesn't really matter because they let the Redskins beat them. The Redskins would probably still be winless had they not played the Dolphins. They're so bad. So Miami Dolphins will not make the trash can. We're just going to rip them in half. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your top 5 worst teams of the first half of the season. I hope you enjoyed it. Away we go.